Hello, how's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy 4/20/2020, everyone. I thought it would be fun to just do a live today, kind of do a reading, check in on the energies, check in with all of you guys. What time is it now? It's 6 o'clock. I was hoping to do this on 4/20, but unfortunately, life and duties and all that other stuff called. So we weren't able to do it at 4/20, but it is still 4/20/2020. And, we're big on the portals and all the repeating number sequences on this channel. So thought it would be just a fun thing to do. Definitely, if you guys are jumping on, like jump in the chat and say hi. I'd love to know who's here. I'd love to say hello to you. We have a really good time when we do these lives. So yeah, today I figured we'd just kind of dive into the energies and see what's going on. As far as the significance of this day, I'm really not sure. The only thing that I kept thinking of when I was thinking about the day was, hello, Malicious Mind State. Love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. As you know, I kept thinking about the significance of the mirroring. Hi. And I think that, I'm going to adjust that a little bit. I think I brought this up on another video, just the whole thought of the entire year of 2020 and how it seemed like just a mirroring year. I mean, we talk about how the universe is always mirroring our vibrational state back to us, right? Like it's giving us constant feedback on where we're at vibrationally by the experiences that we're having in our lives. And so this year just feels like an even more intense kind of experience of that. And so every time I think about just, the numbers 2020 in general, that seems to be the main thing that comes to mind for me, is just this idea of really paying attention to the experiences that are being shown to us and how that is mirroring back something that's going on with us. I've definitely noticed this past week in general, and definitely today, just sort of an energy of just spirit kind of, I guess you would say, kind of showing me where I'm at as far as things that I've been working on and things that have come up, areas of my life where I've gone through major changes and I've gone through major growth, and kind of like a check-in point to see like how much I have grown and how I'm able to apply those lessons. And so I've noticed that happening all week, and that happened definitely today as well. Is just, there's those areas where you think maybe you're going to be able to get around without necessarily having to approach something or deal with something head on. And then it just, it's just there, and you have to, and it's always a good thing. It's a beautiful thing when we get those sort of like stopping points where the universe checks in with us and is like, okay, so you understand all this stuff, but can you apply what you've been learning? And so I think that, I don't know if that's an energy that anyone else will be able to relate to, but that's something that I've been feeling. And just this really, as we move through 2020 and these energies really begin to ramp up and pick up, and the momentum of the energy starts increasing, just consistently getting used to taking this, to looking at everything that we're perceiving in our outer reality as that mirror, that reflection of what's going on within us. And, if our outer reality isn't necessarily mirroring something that we would like in our lives, then just taking the steps to, to change that, and to make some different choices, to look at the energy that we're putting out. And that's why it's so important to really look at the shadow, right? And get into that, dig deeper into that part of those parts of ourselves that we try to deny sometimes, and we maybe don't want to look at because it's uncomfortable or it's vulnerable, those pieces of ourselves, because that, the subconscious is so much of what's manifesting and creating our reality. Like, we manifest most of the time on a subconscious level. And so that's from that shadow stuff, right? And until like we can understand and embrace that shadow part of ourselves, this is reminding me, I mean, we still are trying to figure out how to get the video uploaded onto YouTube. But this is reminding me again of the conversation that Kayla and I had. We did a video together on what was it, Skype, I think. And we're still trying to figure out how to reformat that file. But, you know, we were talking about that as it's learning to look at those shadow parts of ourselves, those darker parts of ourselves. And when we embrace that and we find compassion and love for that aspect of ourselves, that's how we bring that into the light. And that's how we become whole in that way. And so, yeah, I don't know why I just went off on the shadow self, but that's just energy that's coming through, I guess, sort of, because we're talking about the mirror, right? So it's like all of that stuff is still manifesting and we're still creating from that part of ourselves. And it's just, you know, sometimes it's our shadow is just another piece of ourselves that's just looking to be loved. And it's so funny, right as I say that, we not only have Tommy hopping on, hi Tommy, who is always absolutely reminds me of love, but I'm remembering as I was looking at, we have a clock here where I live and they say it says different things on it all the time. And today when I was thinking about going live and doing all of this, it's the word love kept popping up on the clock. And so I just got 2 reminders of love, you know, and it's all about loving all of those aspects of ourselves. And yeah, I mean, and that's so that mirroring too, you know, a big part of that as well is noticing the way that we're thinking about other people, the way we're reacting to other people, the way we're reacting to circumstance, but especially the way we're reacting to other people, because that's a mirror of what's really going on inside of ourselves, how we really feel about ourselves. Like we talk about this a lot, but it's, you know, we talk about it because it's so important to understand is that everything is a reflection. Absolutely everything is a reflection. Yeah, so I think with that, we're going to hop into the cards and see what the cards have to say about today. I mean, I'm no longer a cannabis smoker. I was for a very long time. I still love all my cannabis enthusiasts out there. I think it is a wonderful medicine. And, you know, I think that I absolutely support everybody out there. I know a lot of people were sad that they you know, possibly had to smoke by themselves today. But, you know, I mean, what are you going to do? But it is, yeah. And it's one of those things. I mean, I don't have any underlying health conditions that cause me to need to smoke cannabis for that. And vibrationally, it's not necessarily something that I what's the word that I'm looking for? That I'm drawn to anymore. It's actually really interesting. If some of you guys want to check it out, I know Tommy knows what I'm talking about. There's this guy named Aaron Dowdy, and he talks a lot about the scale of vibration, right? And so everything has a different resonance or a vibration. And so cannabis resonates on that scale at the level of acceptance, which is something that makes a lot of sense if you think about like one of the most common things that people experience, you know, when we smoke cannabis is that sort of chill, that, you know, even level of acceptance and just like, you know, everything's all good. And so, you know, if you naturally don't vibrate at that level, you vibrate maybe a little bit below that level, then the cannabis is going to bring you up to that level. But if you naturally vibrate higher, what that actually does is bring your vibration down. And that's what we see with a lot of different substances that we do. And I think that this is a natural thing that happens as well with any kind of behavior, anything that we utilize as a means to reach a certain vibration level. Once we begin to sort of change our sort of baseline vibration, and that begins to sort of raise a little bit higher, we naturally, like, the need for those things just sort of falls away. And I'm not saying this against anything. I'm not trying to say, oh, I vibrate at this level above cannabis. And I mean, it's just what, you know, what the vibrations are, but I am absolutely supportive of it. And, you know, the miracles that it does. I mean, if I ever got cancer, you best believe I'd be smoking some cannabis. I mean, oh, it's saying hi to Tommy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. That's good. Going out there, shopping for the older folks. That's, spreading that love. That's a beautiful thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, please go do that. And, if you don't make it back, then definitely catch the replay. That is very important. We've all got to take care of each other right now. But yeah, I don't know why I went off on that little spiel. I guess just because it is the 4/20/2020. And I wanted to give a little shout out to cannabis and went off on a little tirade there. But anyway, we'll get back into the cards and we'll see what the cards have to say today. Clear. What does Spirit want our viewers to know about the energies today? The energies today and any messages for the collective watching this video. Oh, that one kind of wanted to come up. We'll see if it comes out again. Interesting. Energies. Ooh, that's one we haven't gotten before. Okay. Whew, nose is getting itchy. So we have Lord Shiva, Transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. Yeah, so this is all we are in this process of, transcending. We talked about at the beginning of this live, how we're being given that chance to look at the areas of our lives where we've been growing and we've been learning and sort of apply those lessons and see if we're able to reach the application process or step of that journey and sort of whether we've integrated these new habits and these new ways of conducting ourselves and living in the world. And we're transcending the old self and we're moving into this new self. And so it's just about listening to the way that Spirit is communicating with you, being open to receiving that communication and that guidance, and just like allowing, it's like, so Spirit likes me to do a lot of things that I'm uncomfortable with sometimes. It'll give me little nudges in the direction. And sometimes, part of me wants to question that and just be like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really ready for that. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. You're sort of taking me in this direction that isn't quite what I was expecting. But it's like what I've learned is not to question that and just to open up to that and embrace that. And like whatever those steps are that are being given to me, I don't necessarily have to understand why. I just, it's just my job to, like it says, just dance with the universe. Like, just go with the music, whatever the song is that, that Spirit is playing, just dance to that song and just trust that like that's the song that I'm meant to be hearing right now. And yeah, it's just really being able to tune into that inner voice and to recognize that inner voice and to tune into the ways that Spirit is wanting to communicate with us. And just knowing that like you are being guided. It's just about learning how to listen to that and just allowing the old to fall away, allowing those parts of ourselves to fall away as we step into our new self. And then we have Radha, Soul Flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. Yeah. And so this is interesting because I was getting, I did a little card pull before the live from the regular tarot, and there were some relationship cards that came out for that too. And so that's been an interesting energy that's going on as well. And we're going to be feeling that more. After this, I'm going to be doing the new moon video. We have the new moon in Taurus. And we also have Venus, who's getting ready to go retrograde. So we'll be doing videos on the Venus and the Pluto retrograde, which are coming up. So there's going to be a lot of reevaluating going on around relationships, around our values, the things that we value, how we value ourselves, what we value in others, what we value in our lives and in our relationships. And we're calling in those relationships that are suited to our soul. And so, yeah, I really like that card came up. And it also, I like how it talks about rediscovering a lost part of yourself, because it's part of this journey is like falling back in love with ourselves, right? And so we go through, and that's where the shadow work and the shadow aspect comes into play too, because in order to fall in love with ourselves, we have to be willing to see all of ourselves and to embrace all parts of ourselves and to have compassion for all parts of ourselves. And so that's part of this journey. We've talked about this before too, is like, that's how we call in those people that are meant for us. That's how we call in our soul tribe. That's how we call in, our soul flame, our, twin flame, if you want to talk about that, is by being that most radiant and true version of ourselves, and by living our soul purpose and our soul calling. And that's been coming up a lot too. And I think that we're going to be discovering relationships that help us to realize our soul path and our soul calling. And that's going to be a huge thing that we're going to see coming through as well. Throughout this time, and that we are maybe seeing coming in now. And like the beginning stages of that is just like really getting clear on what it is that we want, and what it is that we really need in this relationship with ourselves, in these relationships with others, and making sure that they do feed us and they do fuel us. And, and we're able to be authentic in our relationships as well. And we've also got Sanat Kumara, light activation. Shine your light, your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So another card about connecting to the internal guidance, right? Connecting to that voice within us that has all the answers, and just knowing, like, confirmation that whatever answers it is that you think you're being given right now, don't question those. Those are absolutely, that is authentic. Whatever it is that we're feeling and thinking, if we're questioning that, like, don't question that. Like, that guidance is coming through loud and clear. It's just sometimes like the mind can block it out when we try to analyze it too much. So it's about taking that step back and like getting out of that analytical mode and just allowing those messages to come through. And then we also have Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So that's all about, it says what I'm drawn to in this is share your gifts with grace. So we talk a lot about how a huge part of this ascension process, as we begin ascending and connecting to our true vibration and our true selves, our gifts start to come out, and we start to, it starts maybe as where we just start getting curious about something, we get drawn to do something that maybe we haven't done before in this life, or maybe it's something we used to love, and that's where that rediscover a lost part of yourself comes in. Maybe it's something that we used to be really passionate about, and then we thought, oh, but there's no way that I'm ever going to be able to make a living doing that, or there's no way, I just don't have the time for that, or like, that's silly, and like, what would other people think about me doing this thing, right? And so all those judgments, and it's just stepping outside of that and like trusting those things. And like, that's when your gifts start to manifest. It's those little things that you're drawn to. And it's, once again, following that love, following your heart, following those things that bring you bliss. And just like, there's so much, I'm really feeling that as far as the waves of inspiration go. Like, that's part of that whispering, that internal guidance system too, right? And those whisperings of your soul as that inspiration that's coming and pouring out and being gifted to you, and to utilize that, and to, just fully utilizing that those waves of inspiration and creativity, with the words "with reckless abandon" just came into my mind, like, just do it. Just do it. And then we have Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. And so the Dharma is like our life path, right? It's our life purpose. And so, that is unfolding, but it happens one step at a time. And one of the things that we like to do is, we like to map it out and really know every step that we're going to take, and where it's going to lead us, and where that step's going to lead us, and where that one, so that we have some sort of like idea and structure to our goals and our desires, right? But it's like, that's not how this process works. When we get into this process of rediscovering ourselves and stepping into our light And, you know, finding our soul mission is like, we don't get to know everything. It's like, we just have to tune into that intuition. We have to tune into that part of ourselves, like we've been talking about, and know that the steps are being given, but we're only going to be given the step that we're meant to take right now. And when we're ready to take another step, we're going to be given the next step. And that's part of that. That's the thing. That's how the universe gets us to practice that faith and that trust, right? Is by not revealing everything to us right away. And if it did reveal everything to us, we might fuck it up. Like we are not necessarily meant to know. And there is so many different possibilities and ways that everything could play out, that our knowing too much could influence that. And so we're not meant to know. And all we're meant to do is trust and to take that next step, and to just know that as we continue, hi Kelly, taking this step and then the next step and then the next step, eventually, you know, like, well, actually, I don't know if we'll ever get the full picture, because I just don't think that's how it works. But eventually we'll be able to look back and see how the other steps led to this. Yeah. And we're going to take this one too. Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. So yeah, just continuing to give that love and that support to yourself and to others, and just walking down this unfolding path with love. I noticed I never quite have there. Does that? Yeah, but then you can't see me. All right. I was trying to get it so you guys could see more of the cards here. We'll put them down here for right now until we get the next batch out. But yeah, Kuan Yin is amazing. I absolutely adore her. And she just has that beautiful goddess energy of that unconditional love and compassion. And if you're really struggling with being gentle with yourself, Kuan Yin is a great, she's a great person to call on for help with that, because she's very, very good with that. And, you know, just seeing, you know, one thing that we learned, or that we hopefully put into practice a little bit when we had the Libra full moon, is that learning how to see all sides of a situation and to understand where other people are coming from and to be compassionate. It's like we are stepping into our full authentic selves, right? And where our paths are being made clear to us, and like there's decisions that we have to make. But at the same time, like, we can do that with compassion. If we have something if we need to speak our truth, we can speak our truth with compassion. You know, if there are situations that maybe are coming to an end, you know, we can end those situations, or we can change those, or we can, you know, create what needs to be created out of that with compassion, always with compassion, and always just, you know, yeah, like it doesn't, like there's a win-win situation in every time. It may not always feel like everybody's winning, but they are, and everybody can win when we approach a situation with love and compassion. And so, yeah, I mean, that's that. And then, of course, we just got, again, karma releasing. Move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. So we're always doing more of that, right? We're always releasing more of that karma, because we can't take that with us into the new earth. It's just, the karma situation is not a thing anymore. And so we're moving beyond that. And so what do I want to pull now? Yeah, I want to pull one of these. This is my favorite right here. Thank you, Tommy. The Lightworkers Oracle. Just checking in. And so we're going to pull a card from this and see what they have to say. Guidance for the collective. Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge. Yes. Confirmation. We are in this ascension process. We are in this heart awakening. That's that love energy radiating out to that center there, making us a magnet for absolutely everything that we ever desired. Yeah. And it's so funny, because I had a vision of this earlier. So it's funny that card's coming out. It reminded me of the Christ consciousness card, which is similar to this, but it's just all of that light pouring out of the heart, you know? And so we have, you know, that we're going through this process. A lot of people were just recently activated into the ascension process. Others of us were activated into a deeper level with the 4/4 portal. And so we're still in that. We're still we're still experiencing the integration process of those energies and everything that comes with that. We're purging, I don't know, for me, I've been having some pretty intense ascension symptoms lately. I've been having this heat on the inside of my body where I described it almost, hello, Tanya, where I described it almost as feeling like my body was cooking from the inside out. And so that, it was interesting. I was listening to someone the other day, and they were talking about how that can sometimes be a symptom that we have during the ascension process. It's sort of like our body's trying to keep up with that raising vibration. And so just a lot of, intense ascension symptoms, I think, for a lot of people. But it's like, just trusting this process and allowing this process and, staying in that love consciousness, just staying in that. As you can see the light coming out of the heart center here, just staying in that and connecting to that. And just staying connected. And let's see, any other messages for 2020. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. And this on the bottom of the deck again. Okay, so we'll do that. So alchemical mutation. So this is another card about the ascension process and, this raising in vibration. And so this is coming through really, really heavy right now. And I think that this must be what's really going on with people right now, is this really intense experience of this ascension process. And yeah, just all of those, the physical, the emotional, just, releasing, allowing ourselves to release everything that's trying to be released. That's just so huge right now. Yeah, I know, Tommy. It's just allowing this process to transpire. And this card too, it's, you can see him. He's like huddled on the ground, and this angel is just like, this is bursting out of him, right? And so it's like, we have to go through that dark night of the soul too. We were talking about that a little bit. We have to go through that process. We have to go through this to get to this. I'm sorry, there's a glare there, but yeah, okay, you see him there. You have to go through this to get to this, to get to this guy here, right? And so a lot of us are going through that right now, and it can be challenging. We're releasing so many things, like all of the stuff that kept this guy on the ground has to be let go so that he's able to fly. Like all of the stuff that he's carrying on, all the burdens that he's carrying on his back are not his to carry anymore. And, those burdens can take the form of belief systems. Those burdens can take the form of, karmic entanglements. Those burdens can take the form of so many different things, these heavy emotions, this trauma. And so it's just like releasing all of that, letting that go. Like that shit is not yours, and you do not have to carry that. And yeah, just, we have, this card came up twice, and this card's come up before. So we're going to take it again, the invitation to connect. And so this card is about connecting with extraterrestrial beings. We'll just put it like that. Extraterrestrial beings. To me, when I look at this card, it also always reminds me, like the city above the head there always reminds me of Atlantis. But this is connecting to other realms, to other beings. There are so many beings out there who wish to assist us in this ascension process, and are assisting us and are sending us energy and, helping us to move into this higher timeline and into this new earth. And so they're just reminding us that they're always there to assist us in this process too. We've got the dark, we were just talking about it, and now we've got the dark night of the soul card coming up. So like when we're going through this whole process, like we can call on our guides, we can call on our angels, we can call on other beings of light, we can call on these otherworldly beings. They are always happy to connect with us. We want to be careful when we do that we're centering our energy and we're attuning to a high frequency when we do, because there are all different types of beings out there. So that's something that like we definitely want to be cognizant of. But a lot of them are there to help. And, you know, a lot of people watching this channel are star seeds. And so like these could be even beings from your home galaxy, your home planet, from the section of the stars that you are from, that are reaching out and asking. And that's actually, I'm getting that right now for some of you, is that, and I'll pull these cards down a little bit so you can see them, is that there are beings from wherever it is that you come from. If you want to say, I mean, if you come from anywhere, but, you know, from your clan, from another dimension that you spent time in, and they are offering their support. And so I ask sometimes in my meditations, once I attune myself to higher light frequencies, and, you know, I set my spiritual protections and everything, I ask to communicate with my family of light, my galactic family of light. And so for some of you, your family of light is coming in strong, and they're saying that they understand that you may be struggling with this process, and they're there to help. All you have to do is reach out to them in meditation and ask for their assistance. And they would absolutely love to share that with you. And you can see, I mean, in this card, it's just like, you know, that light is coming out, and he's holding that light in his hands. And it's just, there's so much light and so much knowledge that is available to us from these beings. Is it normal to have changes happen quickly during certain periods of the ascension process? Yes, absolutely. That is, it goes at all different speeds for different people. And it's interesting because you know, on the one hand, I think that the process goes at a speed that we can handle, but sometimes I feel like, who's deciding what I can handle? Because it can feel a little bit overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes these things will just happen overnight, or seem to happen overnight, or the understanding that something has shifted or has changed seems to come out of nowhere. And so I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Kelly. We definitely, since the 4/4 portal and those activations, we've been integrating and receiving and continuing to receive those activations. And so as this continues to progress, things are going to happen more and more quickly. And so I think we can expect to see a continuing ramping up of these energies. I definitely think that we will be seeing that. And I am actually going to take this too, because this feels like a card that wants to come out with these cards. And you can see, once again, we've got the imagery of the door opening up in the chest, and then the light coming out of the third eye. Like this is, and the bubbles, which is, you know, symbolizes to me like information and downloads and knowledge. And so, and then, yeah, and we've got all the faces coming out too, right? There's like his face is coming out on each side of him, and he's just, yeah, it's, you know, stepping through, we talk about the keys to the kingdom, like the keys that unlock the doors to these higher levels of knowledge and understanding. And so this is just like those doors being blown wide open. This card, we're going to look up and see what it has to say. It says, the fourth ray of harmony. Yeah, that's a cool card. I like that. It's the first time I've seen that one. All right, so let's see what this has to say. The fourth ray of harmony comes to you now with the qualities of beauty, harmony, and balance. It empowers you to complete a spiritual initiation. Yeah, so there we go with the door bursting wide open, you know, walking through into that higher level, that next level of ourselves. Any conflict you experience now serves your divine purpose. It will eventually become the fuel you need to be born anew. Something negative will be transformed into something positive. The Archangel Gabriel helps you to receive the blessing of the fourth ray of harmony now. When the fourth ray of harmony is active in your life, you are approaching spiritual initiation, which creates a whole new person, a new you. You may wonder if you have what it takes to get through this. You do. As you discover your strength to be patient with the process, rather than trying to force an outcome prematurely, eventually you will outgrow the conflict altogether, emerging as a wiser, more powerful you. You will have gained a positive outcome from what was once considered to be a negative situation. When the fourth ray of harmony becomes stronger in your soul, avoid becoming scattered out of balance or swinging from one extreme to the other in thoughts, actions, and emotions. You will need to keep grounding yourself and being moderate rather than an all or nothing attitude in your life choices. This will create your successful outcome more swiftly than trying to force something to happen immediately. So patience, we're getting a lot of patience with that too. Let's see. The challenge and the gift with the fourth ray of harmony is the increased sensitivity to beauty it engenders. Music takes on a whole new emotional depth. The beauty or chaos in your environment and even the colors you wear has more impact on you than usual. You can use this increased sensitivity to your advantage by choosing art, music, colors, and so on that feel good for you. It is the perfect time for that, as we've got the sun in Taurus and, the new moon in Taurus right now. Lots of Taurian energy. Which is all about that art, music, colors, the pleasures of the senses. The mainstream is still operating in a fear-based energy. With increased sensitivity, you can at times be more affected by this. If you are experiencing increased negativity, depression, doubt, fear, or emotional instability, this is likely why. You can overcome this without shutting down. When you sense it is happening, respond with a loving discipline. You might meditate, journal, dance, create art, listen to music, exercise, have a bath, or spend time in nature to bring yourself back to balance. This ray has a special connection to the arts and guides you to create. You are encouraged to trust your own creativity and to enjoy it and use it to help heal yourself and perhaps others too. Yeah, so we were kind of talking about that, right? Is stepping into and embracing our gifts and our talents and those things that make us unique and those things that are calling to us, just getting in tune with that. We were talking about, the song of your soul, right? When Archangel Gabriel enters your life, there will be an emphasis on the use of sound for healing and balance. So the words you use, affirmations, for example, and the invocations in this deck will be very powerful. So will music. You may use sound to help balance and restore your energy. You'll know when it has worked because you will feel happier and find life simpler. You may not immediately solve an issue, but start doing what you need to take care of yourself, knowing resolution is on its way. So this is all about finding healing and harmony, and utilizing our creativity, right? And an initiation into a higher level of creativity and a higher level of self-expression. And, that goes perfectly here as we have divine talents. And look what this guy is playing. He's playing some sort of musical instrument there, right? And so embracing your divine talents, new talents coming to you, developing your spiritual gifts and just, utilizing, it's something that has been coming up a lot as well is the power of the voice as well and what we speak and the we don't necessarily realize how much power our words have. And so really choosing our words wisely and using our words wisely, using our voices wisely, realizing that our voices create and carry a vibration. And, once we start realizing the power of that, being very mindful of that and just, being mindful of our surroundings, our environment. And, whether that we could be becoming much more sensitive to our environments. We could be becoming much more sensitive to the vibrations around us. There is a lot of fear and a lot of chaos going on right now. And as we start developing and becoming more energetically sensitive, that can have a big impact on us. So it's having that safe, sacred space to retreat back to. And just allowing ourselves and giving ourselves that time. That's why the patience thing keeps coming up, we are going through this beautiful process and sometimes it can be really scary, but we have to have, or it's important and it's helpful to have that patience with ourselves and with this process and to just allow it to be beautiful and allow it to, we can find joy in this process, even the crazy things, I get a lot of physical symptoms from my ascension process, and those can be kind of scary sometimes, but I've really taken advantage of the fact that there's not a whole lot that I have to do right now. And so if I'm feeling a little woozy or things are starting to look a little funky or whatever's going on, I'm able to rest right now and to just create that safe and sacred place for me to sink into. you know, and just really like another thing I want to say is as our divine talents are coming through is like we may have judgments about ourselves and what we think our skills and our gifts and our talents are, but like there may be things that we never thought of before. So just being open to whatever we're drawn to and just, yeah, I mean, whatever it is that we feel heals us, whatever you're drawn to that gives you a sense of peace. What if you do it and it gives you a sense of peace? If you listen to a certain piece of music and it brings you a sense of peace, if you speak something and it brings you a sense of peace, like those are the things that are in harmony and in resonance with your soul. And so do more of those things. And this is all, yeah, this is reminding me of the beauty way that we were talking about the other day too. And just looking at everything from that place of, you know, looking at everything from that place of love and seeing the beauty in everything, embracing the beauty in everything, embracing the beauty in ourselves and embracing the beauty in our struggles, right? And, you know, this card talks about for some of us, we may be going through struggles that are necessary for our soul growth. And just knowing that and being grateful for those experiences and also understanding that like what's meant to come out of those experiences will come out of those experiences in the right time. And once again, having that patience. Yes, just being in harmony with the flow of our existence. Exactly. And do we have one more card from this deck that we want to? One more card. I'm being drawn toward the starseed right now. That was the card that I was thinking of earlier. Cosmic Heart, Cosmic Christ, the Christ consciousness. Yeah, that Christ consciousness energy, you know, embracing that. I mean, we have so many beautiful cards. I mean, it's just, and then the other one that came out with this too was the trust in the plan. And so it's just all of these beautiful cards with this light pouring out of the heart center, right? And just really opening up that heart center and allowing that to be our guide through this process. Yeah, it's like the whole, our heart is the gateway that connects us to the entire cosmos, right? And so it's just really opening up our hearts, opening up that heart center, you know. And then of course this one goes right in with those as well. It's got this same exact imagery, right? Past life activation. And so that's part of, as our gifts are developing, we are recalling gifts from past lives, where, you know, we are recalling all these different aspects of our souls and bringing them back into harmony and back into balance and integrating them back into ourselves. And so we're becoming this incredibly full version of ourselves that's I mean, that's just fucking awesome, you know. So allowing ourselves to receive those activations and to integrate those. I'm pulling for Kelly, everyone that's watching this video, basically. I try not to dig too deeply into the labels, because labels kind of, we put ourselves all in different categories. Like, you know, anyone who happened to pop on for this video, take what resonates and leave the rest. You know, many of us are, you know, if we want to utilize the term starseed. But this is for everyone going through the ascension process, because everyone going through the ascension process, this is happening for them. We all are incredible, powerful, and potent beings of light. We all come from this source energy. We all have these gifts. We all have these abilities. They are our nature, as, you know, everyone is a cosmic being. And so it's this is absolutely for everyone. You know, everyone is going through this ascension process, regardless of what they label themselves as or think of themselves as. I mean, there's a whole lot we don't know about all of that, right? I mean, I don't pretend to know or understand all of that. It's very likely that all of us, I mean, we have the potential for everything that exists within the creation within us. And, you know, we're expressing different facets of our souls and whatever the specific gifts of our soul are. And so, yeah, I would say it's for everyone. It's for absolutely everyone. Although it is funny that this is the last card we're going to take here. The Soul Child card came up right after that. And that is one that I want to just take a little I want to take a little gander out there too. But it is, yeah, I mean, we're all going through this process, and we're all these incredibly potent spiritual beings, regardless of our heritage, and what any of that. We're all coming into this realization and understanding of our immense power as beings of light, as cosmic beings. And so it says, rebirth is upon you, beautiful child of the universe. You have prepared for new life, and it is starting right now. The divine moment of rebirth, which occurs after a period of struggle, of intense inner work and physical transformation, which is what we're going through right here, has arrived. Enjoy getting to know this new self. It is a new day, a new beginning, a new you. Like an adventurer enjoying the discovery of a brand new world, take your time and explore the increase of your light, power, and love. And so this is the result that we're working toward, and that we're always experiencing a deeper and deeper level of this, right? We're always being introduced to a new and fuller and more powerful version of ourselves. And we're just constantly stepping into, it's like we're changing clothes, right? All of a sudden we outgrow the ones that we're wearing. And so we change into a new pair of clothes, and then we change into a new pair. And it's just constantly this cycle of being reborn over and over again, and stepping into a deeper level of our power and our divine natures as spiritual beings. Yes. You have undergone the death of the old order. Nothing is as it was, nor will it be so again. You have had to learn detachment, to release and let go over and over again. In so many ways, you have experienced inner death as you have bravely surrendered that which no longer serves your growth this lifetime, even if you once loved it dearly or couldn't imagine life without it. Deep inside, through that process, your soul has been gathering energy. It has been drawing it away from old forms of your life and relationships, from your old beliefs about health, finances, work, and from what you used to hold meaning for you. It has done so in order to feed the new soul child being carried within your body. This new you is filled with divine light, love, and power. Your inner soul child, this newly integrated self, is preparing for birth now. From that which is no longer, something new is now being born. You are ready for the next cycle or phase of your life. Even if, like a newborn colt learning to stand steady on shaky legs, you are not sure of your strength, be reassured. The new self you are experiencing will grow strong and powerful soon enough. Let confidence in your new self emerge. Reflect upon how different you are now to a year or even a month ago. Be curious about who you are now. Do not expect the same reactions or experiences you encountered in your past. It is a time of celebration and acknowledgement that a new day, a new you has begun a journey in the physical world. You shall enjoy the divine harvest of all of your growth and effort. It can also indicate that there's a child around you that is incredibly gifted or spiritually oriented, and may have an important mission in this lifetime and need your loving support and spiritual encouragement to thrive into their mission. Okay. And so I do want to talk about that for a second, because that's something that I was thinking about the other day, was just this whole idea is we have these incredibly powerful children being born right now, and they've been being born for quite a while. But even more and more of them are going to be coming onto this earth at this time to assist in the ascension process. And just how important it is that we nurture these children. Like, so many children are being born now, and like they have full past life recall. They remember who their parents were to them in other lifetimes. They remember being on other planets. They remember all of this. They have this intense spiritual wisdom and knowledge. And in the past with children like this, people that that's how we shut off from this intuitive part of ourselves that we're being reacquainted with now, right? Is like, we're told that that's not, like, people have bad reactions to that, and that's not okay. And that don't talk about stuff like that. Don't say those things. And so now we're in this more awakened time where we're able to encourage them, and we're able to embrace them, and we're able to be interested in what they have to say, and to show them that, like, it's okay, whatever whatever gifts they're expressing, whatever knowledge they're expressing, whatever creativity they're expressing, to nurture that, and how important that is, because these are the children that are going to help to change the world. I mean, we're all here, we're helping to change the world, but this is the next wave and the next generation. And so it's so important to nurture those children and to guide those children and to support them. And so, yeah, that's something that I was thinking about actually a lot the other day. They call them like the indigo children and all these different, once again with the labels, right? But just these very, very special children who have these incredibly important missions, and how important it is to be supportive of them. This is just an encouraging card for anything that you've been thinking of, any new relationships, any business ventures. This card is just like a giant yes card for anything. So if there's anybody who came into this and they had a question about a new undertaking of theirs or something that they wanted to dive into, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Even if it doesn't seem as though it's bearing fruit right now, the energy is very promising. Yeah. What would you say, Kelly? Yeah, absolutely. Always, the more questions, the merrier. That's actually the best part of the live, is like me not just talking and talking and talking, but, you know, people asking questions and us having that dialogue together. So I love it. I love it when people ask questions, and it's always helpful for me too, because any question that someone has is probably something, like the answer is something that I need to hear as well. Oh, I love all the positivity in the comments. Yes. Thank you for all of your wisdom, Tommy. Let's see if the I'm laughing, Kelly, because now I'm pulling from the Starseed Oracle. But no, this this reading is for everyone. Clear. Any information for the collective watching this video? Any information for the energies that we are currently navigating? Energies that we are currently navigating. Any guidance? There we go. The Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. And so this to me reminds me also of what we were talking about with the importance of acknowledging the shadow, right? And yeah, the importance of acknowledging all parts of our being and coming to have love and acceptance for all aspects of ourselves, and how we integrate those aspects of ourselves when we show them love and compassion. Because, you know, our shadow is just another aspect of ourselves reaching out for love. And it's often those parts of ourselves that we feel can't be loved or won't be loved that we bury. And so as we can show those parts compassion and show those parts the love that they desire, it loses that the ability to hinder us, and it becomes instead a blessing. Like anything that can hinder us can also be one of our greatest assets if we learn how to transform that with love and to utilize that in a more positive manner. And that maybe, and so I'm looking back down and it says seeing potential, right? So it's always, there's so much potential in these different aspects of ourselves, if we're able to look at them as, you know, looking at everything as a gift. You know, that's coming up again as well. And we're going to see briefly what the book has to say about this one. The Seas of Mintaka. These cards are so beautiful, and I'm not typically big into the pastels, but these are just absolutely just gorgeous, gorgeous cards. So yeah, those things that we disown about ourselves are sometimes some of our greatest talents, our greatest gifts, and our greatest strengths. And maybe in past lifetimes we weren't able to express those, and so that fear can still linger. And it's, you know, releasing the fear around that, and just stepping into the authenticity of who we are as well. The Seas of Mintaka card represents the crystalline clarity of potential and possibility. It's about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign that what you're currently doing has great potential. Mintakans are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. And so this is again too. All right, so somebody on here has some sort of project or a situation that is very highly blessed. It has extreme potential and will reach fruition. So this is once again something, if somebody has been working really hard on something and not sure if it's going to pan out or not, there's a lot of potential there, and it's looking very, very likely. Yeah, things are working out. If this is in regard to a relationship, then the guidance here is, or a question that you had coming into this live, the guidance is that things are working out for the highest potential of all involved, which we kind of talked about earlier too, and I'm getting confirmation of that. So that's something that somebody is asking about, or somebody's been wondering about. Things are working out for the highest potential of everyone involved. We talked about that in the first spread that we did as well, as just coming to that place of compromise and agreement, and being authentic in ourselves and our needs and our desires and what we want moving forward, but how we can speak our truth with compassion, and how there's always the possibility for a win-win situation, even if it doesn't seem that way. And so that I'm being reminded of that as I'm reading this. So for somebody, that is definitely the question. And so the answer for you is yes. You may not know or be able to see everything yet, but things are being orchestrated and they are going to work out, and everyone is going to benefit. There will be a mutually beneficial resolution to whatever this issue is, or whatever it is that you're trying to figure out and work out right now. And so, yes. Yeah, highest possible outcomes, seeing all those potentials. And then we get into the shadow, which this card also talks about. According to Carl Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life. Oh, they misquoted him actually in here. I know, because this is my favorite Carl Jung quote. So what the quote actually says is, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will dictate our lives and we will call it fate, or something to that. The pressure is too much right now, especially because I called them out for quoting it wrong. But yeah, until we make the conscious conscious, it will dictate our life and we will call it fate. And so this is about the shadow. This is about those repressed parts of ourselves and bringing those to life. The unconscious mind, the shadow side, unconscious patterns that you may be unaware of. Yeah. So just what we were talking about, we already went over that. Just looking at and acknowledging those hidden parts, those shadow parts of ourselves, and giving voice and giving light to those and giving love to those. And also those, I can see this also as we allow these gifts that we may have hidden, or these aspects of ourselves that we hid from people because we thought that we would be judged for them, or in past lifetimes we were harmed for them, or we were treated in certain ways because we expressed them. Bringing light can be that favorable outcome that was suggested as well, that favorable outcome with a situation or a project. Oh, am I disconnected? Would somebody comment and let me know if I'm not online anymore? Am I back now? It said I was disconnected. Somebody let me know if they're still on here. Oh well, we'll keep going. Hopefully if people logged off, they'll log back on. Yeah, so that could turn into awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That could turn into a very favorable project if we embrace those aspects of ourselves. And that brings me back to when they're talking about the creativity card. It's allowing all of these suppressed aspects, not just like the dark shadow stuff, right? But like all the stuff, all that beautiful stuff within you to really blossom and flow. All right. Thank you, Dawn. Okay, and then we have, and so I'm bringing this up because this is funny. I didn't even notice when I did the the Aquarius, the Age of Aquarius video. This card was sitting on the bottom of the deck the whole time, and I sort of glanced over a couple of times, but I didn't look at it. But it's coming back up today, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. So it's the Courageous Peony, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. And so, yeah, I guess actually that goes right in line with what we were just talking about too, right? Is the expression of those gifts and of all of those aspects of ourselves that we felt like we had to hide before, and just how there is so much within us just yearning to be expressed. And just the beauty of that process and how that takes us deeper into this unfoldment of ourselves and the unfoldment of our gifts and our purpose. And just, that's the whole energy. This is a huge energy that we're stepping into. This is, if you haven't watched that video, I had a really fun time making it. You guys definitely should. It's a good one, right? But we talk about that, the Age of Aquarius, and how we're in this first part of that age right now, which is this process of stepping into our authentic selves, claiming our authentic power, claiming our voice, right? Like becoming the people that we were always meant to be. And, a huge part of that first comes in. Actually, this is interesting because this came up in a conversation I had with someone earlier. Like, one of the first things that we have to do is we have to stop comparing ourselves to other people. Comparing ourselves to other people and, worrying about what other people are going to think, how other people are going to react. Like, if there's something that you really love and it's like the nerdiest, dorkiest thing, and you think that everyone's going to laugh at you about it, like, and you've been holding back from doing that, like, go ahead and do that thing. Like, if that thing makes you smile and that thing brings you joy, then do that thing. Express all these parts of yourselves. We're in this incredibly liberated energy right now, right? And so if you have gifts and you've been afraid to express those because you were afraid that people were going to judge you for them, you were afraid that, people weren't going to accept you, people were going to say whatever they were going to say, think whatever they were going to think. Like, this is the time where all the weirdness is coming out, man. Like, Aquarius is all about the weird. And so, like, get weird with it. Just allow all of that stuff to flow, just be who you are. Be who you are. And because who you are is perfect. And it's so important for us all to, like, be that full authentic spark of who we are, because it's that tapestry and that diversity of us all being the full expression of ourselves that is what makes this world beautiful. And that's what is going to make this world thrive, especially as we step and we move into this new earth, right? Like, that's what it's all about. It's like the unity and the oneness and the knowing that we are all connected, but knowing that, like, the fact that we're all connected doesn't mean that we're all supposed to be the same. We're all these very individualized sparks of light coming from this one source. But, like, we are all different colors, we're all different flavors, and it's all so beautiful and it's all so perfect. And, like, that's the part of the process that we're in right now, as far as the Age of Aquarius goes. It's moving into this, stepping into our authenticity and just, integrating and allowing all of who we are to shine, allowing ourselves to be all of who we are, and knowing that the people that are meant to be in our lives are going to be attracted to that, and they're going to appreciate that. And that's going to naturally weed out the people that don't belong in our lives. Our vibe attracts our tribe. So, like, what do you want? Do you want to attract your true tribe, or do you want to attract people that don't resonate with you because what you're putting out there is not resonant with who you are? Because that's what's going to happen. And so it's just so much beauty unfolds when we embrace who we really are. It's the ultimate act of self-love, is being who we are, regardless of what anybody else thinks. Yeah. Just surrendering, allowing the universe to do its job. That's basically what this card says. I was just peeking at it. We don't need to go any further than that. Just allow the universe to do its fucking job and get out of the way. Don't try to micromanage shit. Just work on being your full, beautiful, authentic self. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And everything else will unfold. Everything else will unfold. Yeah. Which goes right into, we'll do that. Yeah. Power places, ley lines, trust where you're being led. So this right now in this reading is about trusting where your joy and your bliss is leading you. It's, trusting where your soul is trying to get you to go. And just like not over analyzing that, right? Because like it doesn't always make sense. Like this has come up multiple times. Like sometimes the path does not make sense. And we're like, well, I don't understand how I'm supposed to get here if I go over there. And so first of all, maybe you're not even supposed to get here. Maybe you're supposed to wind up way the fuck over there. We don't really know. We think we know, but we really don't. But either way, like it's not for us to question all that stuff. It's, learning how to tap into spirit and just follow fucking directions, really. I mean, that's the one thing that I've had to learn is like, I want to micromanage situations and I want to figure out like exactly how it's going to play out and how it's going to work out. And I want it to make sense, but like, it doesn't always make logical sense. And that's part of the point. I brought this up the other night too. I can't even remember. It might've been I brought it up at some point. It was just how my spiritual teacher talks about the fact that usually the crazier the suggestion is from spirit or the crazier the nudging is, the more profound the results are when he actually just does what's being asked of him instead of just trying to analyze it. And so I don't know, that's coming up as well there. Yeah. And then it's funny because I accidentally cut the deck here. And right on top of that is cracked open rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. So yeah, just surrendering to the process, surrendering to the unfolding, allowing ourselves to be guided. And, this card is reminding me of how they talk about how sometimes we have to have our hearts broken in order for the light to get in, right? Like the cracks are how the light gets in. And so I think we've all experienced this on one level or another during our awakening process, maybe more than once. And so it's, sometimes we have to get down into that super dark place before, in order to fully surrender. Like we have to be brought to our knees and, we have to, and like heartbreak can take so many different forms, right? Like, spirit has to break us in order to rebuild us. And so I'm just getting that as well, is just that image of just like that breaking. And then when we saw with all of those cards, with all of that light coming out of the heart, right? Like that's part of how that happens. And so it's just knowing that nothing that happens to us was done to hurt us. It's only ever was done to help us. And that's part of trusting this process too, is just knowing that is like, even all of the pain that we go through has a purpose. It all has a purpose and it all has a place. And just allowing that process, when we've hit that rock bottom, just getting on our knees and surrendering and being like, okay, fuck, please, like, tell me what to do next. Like, I am yours to guide. Like, show me where you want me to go. Show me what you want to do. Like, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm willing. And so, yeah, I mean, that is absolutely part of this journey as well, is, just, yeah, that process. Yep. Yeah. And then we got the golden children again, which, was the card that reminded me when we were talking about the special children the other day, right? And it also has to do, actually, I don't even think that's what the card had to do with. That's just part of what it reminded me of, was all of these very special children that have been born that we're supposed to be nurturing and, caring for and empowering, right? But also this is about rare gifts again. It's about rare gifts, and it says innocence. And so that's sticking out to me as far as the unfoldment of our gifts goes, right? Is like looking at everything with this through these eyes of wonder, right? And there we go with the children, right? Through, like, with the eyes of a child, looking at the beauty of everything, the magnificence of everything, just letting ourselves be amazed, right? Letting ourselves be amazed by this journey, letting ourselves be amazed by ourselves and our own progress, by, like, just looking at every step of this journey with awe, and just getting into that place and that childlike wonder, and how that is, and that can also allow us to have the courage to be more of our authentic selves. Is, when we're looking at everything, children don't worry about that kind of stuff. They say what it's really funny, actually, because children will say whatever they think, and they can be pretty intense and pretty hardcore sometimes. I mean, they don't worry about social niceties and, like, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. They just say exactly what's on their minds. They do whatever is in their hearts. They're so fully immersed in their experience. And so that has come up a lot too, right? Like, this whole idea of being fully incarnated and fully present in our journey is like, children are absolutely fully present. And when they feel something, they feel it completely. And so that's leading back to this card again too. It's like, in order to heal, we have to be willing to feel things completely. We have to be willing to feel things, not only to see all the beauty in the world like a child, but to feel things like a child too. Like, if your heart is broken, let that heart be broken. Feel what that feels like. If you're joyful, be fully joyful. Like, open up to that feeling of joy. It's like, in order for these feelings to pass through us as they're meant to, we have to acknowledge them, and we have to allow them, just as we have to acknowledge and we have to allow all those varied parts of ourselves. Before we can integrate our shadow, we have to look at it and we have to love it, right? It's like, this whole process is that that's the key to everything. It's just allowing ourselves to approach everything in life as a child. So yeah, all paths lead home. You always get where you're going. That's all. I see cards and I just throw out, like, sometimes there's just like a sentence that resonates or pops into my mind. Oh, all right. I should probably put these back with those. But yeah, so that's what we got. That's what we got from the Starseed Oracle today. And I don't know. Anybody have any questions, any comments, anything like that? I'm trying to figure out if we're going to wrap this up here. We can close with an Isis card again. I love the Isis cards. I will always do one of those. Yeah. Okay. Clear. Any guidance from the Isis Oracle for our viewers? Be more clear, please. Any guidance from the Isis Oracle? Okay, you tried to come out twice. We'll take him. All right, we got Cartouche. Divine names. It was just fun to say like that. Cartouche. Divine names of power. See if I can get that so that you can see it in the light. Oh. The Egyptian goddess in me loves these cards. They're so powerful. Okay, so this says, Lady Isis initiates you now into her special mysteries, the use of sacred intonations. So this is interesting because we were talking about the power of sound earlier, right? And, the power of music, the power of the voice, and the authority and the energy that our voice carries, and the words that we speak, and being intentional with those words and thoughts, but absolutely with the words. Our thoughts, our vibration is powerful. Our thoughts are powerful. When we speak those thoughts out loud, they become even more powerful. And so just knowing that. The words that you speak are rapidly gaining power. To benefit from this power rather than be undermined or held back by it, practice thoughtful speech and clear your heart of old unforgiveness, which can poison your words unintentionally. As your heart grows in purity, you will be able to speak with spiritual authority, and what you speak of will come into being more swiftly and obviously. Isis is initiating you as a master healer in her sacred tradition of divine names of power. Okay. Sacred words of strength, magic, and power to create healing from a place of compassion and devotion to love. Yeah. So this is also, powerful affirmations, the things, and so this is coming up. So the things that we say to ourselves on a regular basis are affirmations. Even if we're not saying them intentionally for the purpose of creating an affirmation, the self-talk that we have, the dialogue that goes on in our minds constantly, those are affirmations. And so if we are thinking things, if we are constantly thinking stuff that we don't want to identify with or we don't want to believe anymore, but they're constantly playing in our heads, we are reinforcing that belief system. If we are thinking disempowering thoughts, we're reinforcing that. And so, yeah, everything that we speak and everything that we think is an affirmation. So we want to be really, really aware of that, especially just with anything else. As we are gaining more power as these spiritual beings, everything that we do gains more power. And so that absolutely includes our thoughts and our words. But it's like every aspect of us becomes more powerful. Let's see what else it says. Yeah. Divine names of power are mantras, sounds, and names of the divine in all traditions. Isis will bring you her name to begin, offered to you as a sacred gift to be worked with as a mantra of protection, of feminine grace and divinity and healing. And so, yes, so it's using, so this is, yeah, I'm not really feeling a whole lot from that, except that, if there is a word or a name or a sound that you are especially drawn to, then you can absolutely utilize that as a way to sort of center your focus or center the strength of your energy. If you are working to, if you're working to manifest something, or you want to achieve a deeper level of meditation, or you're trying to clear your energy or fine tune your energy, or you're looking to magnify your energy, like there can be a certain name or a sound that appeals to you, that you feel more empowered when you make that sound or you utter that name, then that is absolutely can be a touchstone to center you more in your own power. And so Isis is lending her name if you so choose. And then this is also talking about if you've been interested in using your voice in some way for writing, singing, healing, speaking, or becoming a spokesperson for a particular cause that resonates with your heart, the Oracle of the Cartouche brings guidance that Lady Isis honors your desire, encourages you to explore, and shall protect your process. So once again, the artistic stuff, right? Like the music, the any way that we use our voices, if you're being drawn toward an endeavor in that way, like that is being guided, and there are energies definitely supporting that. Yep. You're invoking the power of speech and word for your strength, protection, and spiritual growth, and this will work effectively for you. Yeah. Yeah. So just what we said really is, I feel like I end up saying this all the time. Yeah. Yeah. And being aware of the words of others and the vibration of others and how that affects your own vibration. You can use words of power to cleanse any cords or contracts that would lower your vibration into a fearful place in order to come back to love. You can use your voice for anything, basically. Our voices are so powerful. And when we learn how to master the energy, how to stand in the own authority of our energy, and how to speak with authority, we can absolutely speak our own healing into being. We can do anything that we want. We can what we can manifest, we can create, we have so much power available to us through the expression with our voice, right? Expressing, speaking to the universe our desires, speaking to the universe our truths, and just really getting in touch with that and playing with the power of your voice, you guys. That's the message for that. Yeah, is just getting in touch with that and utilizing that and being aware. It just keeps coming back to that, being aware of the power of our voice and our thoughts and using that wisely. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to end this for the reading for tonight. Still got that. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Still got that new moon video to do tonight. So that's going to be an intense one, guys. It's going to be intense. And it's sort of the impetus for everything that we're going to have going on with the Venus going into retrograde and all of that. It's going to be quite a year, man. We got so many planets going retrograde. So what happens when we go retrograde is it's a reevaluating and a really taking a deeper look at the energies of those planets. And so I'll do whole videos on those. So I won't get too much into that right now. We've already, hour and a half almost we've been going here. But yeah, that's going to be that. It's some good energy, but some intense energy. Definitely. I think we're already feeling that right now. Thank you. Can the music we listen to impact our energetic vibration? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think it's a can. I think it's it does. And so one thing that happens sometimes through the ascension process as well is like what we are drawn to for music starts to change. There are some songs that I really love listening to. They're really fun, but sometimes they're just not doing it for me anymore because just like the vibration of them and what they're talking about and sort of the concepts and the messages that they're putting out there just doesn't resonate with me anymore. And I actually sometimes I'll dip back into them because they're fun, right? But I can't listen for too long because I do feel as though that pulls me into a different vibration. Sometimes it's just sound is healing, right? And so there are whole branches of healing that just utilize sound. Sound is vibration, right? Like the universe is made up of sound. It's light and frequency makes a sound. And so everything is sound, and we can connect with different vibrations. We can change our vibration through the sounds. I love utilizing binaural beats. Those are a great way to really flip in between different vibrations and stuff like that. A lot of my meditating, I really enjoy the extraterrestrial and the different beings out there. So I do a lot of astral travel, binaural beats and stuff like that during my meditations sometimes. And then there's just other really beautiful artists that I love listening to now that put me into a certain state of mind. There's all kinds of different music that when I really want to anchor into that vibration and that consciousness, I just put on the specific music that takes me there. So it's just for you paying attention, Kelly, to what resonates with you. Like, how do you feel when you're listening to this? How do you feel when you're listening to that? And just going for the things that make you feel good. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. With the lyrics and everything about it, everything, it's so profound. It affects so profoundly, and music can heal so profoundly as well. Yes, you are so beautiful, Kelly. I absolutely love you so much. All right. So I think that's it for the questions tonight. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I love you all so very, very much. Happy 4/20, 2020. And yeah, I will talk to you all. I will see you all very, very soon. And I appreciate you all joining me. And let's see if I can figure out how to shut this off correctly. Yes. Yeah, this whole process is just about finding, the things that resonate and releasing the things that don't. And it's going to continue to change and evolve as we continue to change and evolve. And it's just allowing that to happen, you know, and allowing ourselves to embrace who we are becoming and let go of like who we're not anymore. Like, and not remaining attached to the things that no longer serve us, which is much more easily said than done sometimes, you know, and just embracing this process of becoming. All right, you guys have a great night. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on. End stream. We'll try this. All right. And I think that did it.